Disclaimer: I do not own the Haikyuu characters that are to be used in this story. Photos or covers were picked from Google. Credits to the owner.
It's been days since he encountered Tsukishima, which resulted in his current state. He stared again at his ceiling, unable to get even a single wink of sleep. Nightmares. Those vivid dreams that he had already managed 2 years ago came back as if nothing had happened. Even though he takes his prescribed amount of sleeping pills, he still wakes up in the wee hours, drenched in sweat and silently crying. He almost took more than the prescribed amount of pills to make his brain shut down if he was not worried about getting scolded by Dr. Shirabu or worse. And so, just like before, he goes to the corner of his room. He was finding solace again in the small space held by his bedside drawer and wall. It gives him comfort from the darkness that keeps consuming him. It's been days since Hinata was unable to fall asleep. Even though he stays in the corner of his room, he can't fall asleep. His prescribed sleeping pills weren't helping with his condition. He was able to sleep for about 30 minutes until he was shaken by a nightmare. Everyone was getting worried about Hinata. It is now very evident that he doesn't have decent sleep. He had dark circles under his eyes, spacing out, and easily got tired from a few drills that they had. It was one of their breaks when Mayan approached Hinata. "Hinata-kun, were you able to fall asleep last night?" For a second, Hinata processes what Mayan asks. His cognitive processes weren't on point at the moment. Yeah, I guess." Mayan stared intently at Hinata. Observing the latter's current state. "Maybe you should take it easy today. You can go home or something." "No, I can still practice right now. It's just, Mayan-san is right, Hinata. You should take a rest now. It's been a few days since we noticed that you had a lack of sleep," Bakuto said as he placed his arm on Hinata's shoulder. Mayan stares abruptly at Bakuto. "You already notice he's losing sleep, but you never address it early on." "Well," Atsumu speaks as he and Sakusa come near the three. "It's not that we never address it early, but..." "Stop. I don't want to hear any explanation." "Hey, I'm right here," Hinata interjected as he pointed to himself. "And like I said, I can still practice today. After all, it will be our rest day tomorrow." No, Hinata, your body can't wait until tomorrow just to rest. Go home now. Try to sleep or, if possible, try to contact your doctor and talk about this," Sakusa interrupts as he gestures towards Hinata. "You cannot ignore such symptoms right now, Hinata-kun. Sakusa-kun is right. I'll inform coach about this, and unfortunately, I want a go signal from Dr. Shirabu that you still can play, do you understand?" Mayan said as he squeezed Hinata's shoulder. Defeated, Hinata simply nods to his captain in agreement. "Great, take all the rest you need. Contact Dr. Shirabu, and then you can go back as early as you want." "Okay, bye," he sighed and waved at everyone. He packed his things and headed out towards their dorm. When he entered the living room, he lay down on the couch and sighed. He's contemplating if he will give a call to Dr. Shirabu or not. After all, he already knew what the doctor would say to him. A few minutes passed when he took out his phone and dialed Dr. Shirabu. "Hello, this is Dr. Kenji Shirabu. How may I help you?" "Hi, Doc. This is Hinata Shoyo." "Oh, hello Hinata-kun. What can I do for you today?" I haven't been able to fall asleep lately, and it seems the prescribed sleeping pills don't help this time." Can you give me an updated prescription?" Are the sleeping pills not working?" "Yes. Unfortunately, I cannot offer you a different prescription or even add dosage. You're already taking a very high prescription for a sleeping pill." Hinata-kun, may I ask why you have a hard time falling asleep again?" The doctor asks. "I'm having nightmares again." "Nightmares? When did it start?" "Last week. Last week, after your match with the Adlers." He nods. It's almost a week without proper sleep. I'm sorry if I informed you late. I know I should call you immediately. It's just that." The doctor sighed. "Okay, Hinata-kun, it's fine. Do you remember what triggers those nightmares again?" He kept silent as he remembered his encounter with Tsukishima. Have you met Tsukishima-kun that day? Yes. I see. Well, I think that encounter leads you to this symptom. And I'm guessing it might be your brain's defense mechanism, or it might be soulmate withdrawal, which is bad. Hinata kept silent as Dr. Shirabu continued to explain. I want to have a face-to-face consultation with you as soon as possible, but unfortunately, Hinata-kun, I only have a free schedule on Friday next week. Would that be fine for you? Yeah, okay, good. For now, you already know what you should have done as I always want you to do, right? He bites down on his lower lip a little too hard this time. He knows where this conversation is heading. I think your body has decided now that it is time to face your problem, Hinata-kun. It is time to talk with your soulmate. He sighed. Thanks, Doc. No problem. I expect you on Friday. Take a rest, no volleyball for the time being. I'll inform Coach Foster that you'll take a break at least for a week. Okay, bye. He ends the call and puts his phone beside his set of keys on the coffee table. He stared at the ceiling as he took a slow, deep breath. He was too exhausted to think straight right now, and so he closed his eyes. It always starts in a dark space where he stands in the center, all alone. He already knows it will be a bad dream again. After a while, there will be a whisper, and it becomes louder until he can hear it. He is pathetic, weak, he doesn't deserve to be loved. He is annoying. No wonder his soulmate rejected him. Most of the time, it was only voices that he heard. He got used to it, but this time, it was different. Instead of being in a dark place, it was started in a crowded room. It was a mixed conversation that was inaudible to hear, not until one of the people near him looked at him. He flinched. They didn't bear a face, but their voices were clear. He will never love you. He will never accept you. You're just a mere obligation for him. He hates you. He hates you being his soulmate. You are weak. He doesn't deserve something like you. He curled to himself as he covered his ears. This is too much. Please stop. You already know. I will never love you, Hinata. He was surprised to hear that familiar voice. He looked up and saw Kei standing in front of him full of contempt and disgust. He gasps as he returns from consciousness. He looked around, trying to familiarize himself with where he was. He can't recognize the place. He was still shaken up by another nightmare. This isn't my home. I want to go home. Frantic, he took the only familiar thing to him, which was his set of keys, and headed out the place. He doesn't know where he is heading. He just kept walking and walking. He sometimes bumps into a stranger, but he just continues to walk. Some of them gave a concerned look, which wasn't helping with his anxiety. His dream earlier reminded him of this situation. He puts his hood on to serve as a barrier to everyone around him. He reached the train station and looked at which station it was. What am I doing in Osaka? He headed to the ticketing booth and bought a ticket back to Sendai. 4 hours. It took 4 hours to get back to Sendai. And now he was standing in front of his previous home. He took out the key with a shaking hand and tried to unlock the door, wishing it still worked. Click. Relief coursed to his body as he opened the door. He removed his shoes and went inside. He heads towards the couch and lies down. He took the throw pillow and hugged it, burying his face and inhaling the faint smell of Kei. He released a shuddered breath as he relaxed on the couch and instantly fell into a peaceful sleep. Shoyo-kun, we're back. We have meat buns for you. Atsumu shouts as he enters their dorm. Sakusa nudged Atsumu, scolding the latter. Mia, why would you wake him up? Ops, I just got carried away. Sorry. When they entered the dorm, they found Hinata's gym bag and cell phone in the living room. Bakuto walks towards Hinata's room and opens it. He looked around inside and saw no one. He's not here. What do you mean he's not there? Atsumu asks as he also looks inside Hinata's room. Shit. Atsumu walks towards the other rooms, while Sakusa checks the laundry room and even the bathroom, but there are no signs of Hinata. I'm calling Kageyama. Sakusa took out his phone and dialed Kageyama's number. Hello, Sakusa-san. Yes, hello, Kageyama. Had Hinata contacted you earlier? Nope. Why? He is supposedly with you since you have a practice, right? Kageyama worriedly asks. Well, we made him go early since he didn't look good, and when we got home, he was not here. He left his gym bag and phone here. He left his phone. What the fuck? Change it to a loudspeaker, Bakuto ordered Sakusa, which the latter obliged. Hey, Kageyama-kun, can you contact Dr. Shirabu for us? Ask him if Sho-kun called him. Okay, Bakuto-san. Bakuto also took out his phone. We'll also look around the area. Maybe he is somewhere here. Please call if you find him. Okay, the same goes for you. Bye. Bakuto opens the MSBY group chat. Guys, SOS. Shoyo's missing. What do you mean he's missing? Did you try to contact him? He left his phone. Mayan mentioned everyone at their GC as he instructed. Look around the vicinity and 10 meters from our dorms. Keep your lines open, and immediately update here if you find him. It was already the end of practice when Kei's phone started to vibrate. He took it out and found out that Kageyama was calling him. Hello, Shoyo's missing. What do you mean missing? He is supposedly in Osaka. He looked at the time to confirm where Shoyo possibly was. Packing his things and preparing to head home from MSBY gym. He's not there. Sakusa-san called me. They early dismiss him since he's not feeling well. Then, when they return to the dorms, he's not there. Have you tried calling him? He didn't bring his phone, that is why we didn't know where to find him. Tsukishima pinches the bridge of his nose as he thinks about the situation. The only thing I have is that he had a conversation with his doctor. I assume that he might be in Sendai. Sendai, yes. His doctor said he was supposed to face his problems by now. Something to that. He didn't. Kei stops what he is supposed to say when he realizes where Shoyo might be. I think I know where he is. I'll call you back. Thanks, Tsukishima. He ended the call and rapidly left the Sendai Frogs gym heading to his home. When he reached home, he quietly opened the door thinking and hoping that Shoyo was there. As he entered, he found a pair of sneakers that did not belong to him. He is here. He immediately heads to the living room and sighs with relief as he finds Shoyo sleeping peacefully on the couch. He took his phone out, took a photo of Shoyo, and sent it to Kageyama. He is here and safe. Thank goodness. Call me when he wakes up. Please, don't wake him up, okay? He rolled his eyes at what Kageyama replied. Of course, he wasn't planning to wake Shoyo. He sat on the floor near Shoyo and admired the latter's peaceful expression. He slowly caresses Hinata's cheek and thinks, why would you run away like that? You make everyone worried. Shoyo leaned to the touch and sighed contentedly but remained asleep. It makes Kei smile since he finds it endearing. A lingering smell of delicious food makes Shoyo awaken from his slumber. He rubbed his eyes and took in his surroundings. Wait, why am I here? Oh, you're already awake. I was about to wake you. Dinner's ready, Kei said as he emerged from the kitchen. Hinata blinks, surprised that he was, in fact, at Sendai. Why am I here? I think I should be the one to ask you that. You were already asleep here when I got home, Tsukishima said. Hinata remembers what happened earlier and exclaimed, oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. Hey, Tsukishima came near Hinata and held his cheeks. It's okay. At least you got here safe. He stared at Shoyo as the latter grew redder by the second. He chuckled and pinched Hinata's cheek slightly. Cute. Now, come on. You have to eat. You haven't eaten any proper meal today yet, Kei said as he returned to the kitchen. Shoyo was stunned by Kei's gesture towards him. He followed to the kitchen and found a sumptuous dinner. You prepared this? Hinata amazingly asks. Yeah, now sit down and let's eat. They sat down and ate quietly. A few minutes had passed when Tsukishima spoke. After dinner, you have to call Kageyama. You worried everyone when you suddenly went missing. You even left your phone. How did you even get here from Osaka? By train. Shoyo was surprised when Kei used his first name. He looked at the latter and saw how worried he was. He was ashamed to make a joke lightly about what he had done that day. I just have a rough week. Having difficulty falling asleep due to some Nightmares. Nightmares. He simply nods as he remembers what he dreamed of. And I guess the last dream I had was the final straw. It makes me a little disoriented and I don't believe that this is just a little disorientation. He pouted and fidgeted. Sorry. Tsukishima held Hinata's hand as he asked, do you want to stay here for the time being? I guess you were able to sleep properly here. But, how about Yamaguchi? Yamaguchi, Tsukishima confusingly asks, to which the other nods. We broke up when we graduated from high school. Oh, Shoyo averted his gaze. And, Kei exclaimed, which made Shoyo look at him again. I'm not seeing anyone. So, Shoyo nods and stares at their intertwined hands as Kei's thumb rubs circles on his hand, giving comfort to him. It was silent for a while until Kei spoke. I tried to find you back then, Shoyo. I even hired a private investigator to find you. You did. Kei nods. Our parents don't want me to know where you are. It was hard to find you. I guess they help you remove your traces. Shoyo squeezes their intertwined hands to give reassurance that he is all ears. I was just able to track you after that one incident. Shoyo stares at Kei as the latter continues to tell his story. We're having the usual meet-up. Yamaguchi, Yachi, and Kageyama. When Kageyama received a phone call about you, he gulped as he realized what incident Kei was talking about. Oh, Kei stared at Shoyo's hand. He held Shoyo's wrist as he gave soothing circles around it. It's the side effects of being away from my soulmate. Shoyo whispered, but Kei was able to hear it. I'm sorry. He shook his head. It wasn't your fault. It was. I choose it. I should have told you about it but I didn't. I shouldn't treat you that way back then. Shoyo stared at Kei. Tears started to flow in his eyes as the latter wiped it away. Shoyo, will you be able to handle a wrecked version of me, Kei? A dead star. Shoyo chuckled. Kei sniffled and chuckled. I will. He hugs Shoyo as the latter buries his face on the former's chest. This time, I'll take good care of you. Kei loosened the hug and said, anyway, you have to call Kageyama. Can I do that tomorrow? Nope. Kei disagrees as he takes out his phone and dials Kageyama's number. Whether today or tomorrow, you still get scolded. So why not today? Besides, you have to ask him if your teammates can deliver you some clothes. I can borrow yours, right? Shoyo pouted. And, what about your medications? Defeated, Shoyo took the phone. Fine.
To be continued. If you like this video, consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button. Bye!